No.
And she found the dog 22 hours later.
No.
It was horrible.
No. Do it.
Good evening. Thank you all for coming out tonight. Dennis Smith, can you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I absolutely will. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
I was going to say play ball.
That would be just what I needed. This evening, we're dedicating the meeting to the 3 United States soldiers killed in the drone attack on a military outpost in Jordan last month. Sergeant William Rivers, 46, of Carrollton, Georgia. Specialist Kennedy Sanders, 24, of Waycross, Georgia. And Specialist Breonna Moffett, 23, of Savannah, Georgia. We could have just a moment's silence. Thank you. Rita, the roll call, please.
Wendy Burton,
Here.
Julia Dakota,
Here.
Eric Hames,
Present.
Nathan LaVertu.
Here.
Be there for a minute. Teddy Secord is absent.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Town board liaison reports. Oh, Eric, were you here for either of your meetings, or there was only one meeting?
There was only one meeting.
I can report on the planning board because I was there.
Okay, that'd be great. Do you want the,
No, I have.
you have it, okay.
I have it in my head. Nathan?
The rec committee meets next week.
Okie dokie. Julia?
CAC is also next week.
Oh, and
Okie dokie. Well, then I guess that's me.
Zoning board 2 is next week,
Yes.
Wednesday, Valentine's Day.
Oh, special.
Very.
Okay, so the planning board meeting, a special use permit was granted to Karen Balone for a 2-bed comfort care center for the dying. This is at 1642 Bull's Head Road. The facility is not a hospice. Hospice care workers will come to take care of the residents, but the people who, Karen, who lives there, is not doing care. They're just facilitating a place for people to come and die. The Seventh Sense, which is the name of the organization that Karen is part of, is a nonprofit volunteer group that will provide a safe and comfortable environment for the dying. A public hearing date was set for next month for the Rocky Reef subdivision. The fire district meeting night was changed to the 3rd Thursday of the month, so I have no report either for that. The zoning commission met for the first time on January 25th. We had a discussion on finding an appropriate consultant and what their scope of work might be. And the members were asked to bring a list of priority concerns in the current code for the February meeting. And then Chris Drago asked me to read this. He says, tonight at 5:30, I'll be attending the monthly meeting of the, Chris is our county legislator for our district. Tonight at 5:30, I'll be attending the monthly meeting of the various standing committees of the Dutchess County Legislature, which is why I'm not able to attend in person. It's been a busy month, and I wanted to share a few things with all of you. I've been selected to be on the Public Safety and Mental Health Standing Committees. I'm pleased about these appointments, given the feedback I've received about the importance of both of these areas for our community. Tomorrow at 1 p.m., we've organized a small group of concerned community members to discuss mental health needs in northern Dutchess County. If anyone is interested in joining, please email him ASAP. And if anybody needs his email address, I can provide it. This is the second time a group of us will meet this year to discuss this important topic. We're discussing a possible countywide solution to EMS. We're in the very early stages of discussing options, and I will keep you updated as this develops. I'm hosting an open bar cocktail hour for our community this Saturday from 6 to 7 at the Stissing Center. As I kick off my first term, I'm hosting a cocktail hour at the Stissing Center in Pine Plains. I'd like to take this opportunity to get together as a community to thank you for your support and toast the year ahead. I hope you can join us and then stay for a free dance party hosted by the Stissing Center that starts at 7 p.m. And then there's an RSVP. Again, I can provide that. The next monthly meeting of the county legislature is Tuesday, February 13th at 7 p.m. If you can't attend in person, you can watch live online. And there's a link to the county legislature website online. That's it. So I don't think I have an additional report. There's no real financials to report since we've just closed out our first month and we're not overspent on anything. What I would like to do tonight, because the court clerks have been here, I think, since yesterday morning, I would like to put off privilege of the floor for a little while, and first we will do the annual approval of the books of the court. Did Katrina not come?
No, she gave me her book.
She can come next month.
She gave me the book to present to you.
Anyway, so whoever, for those of you who haven't witnessed this amazing thing, it's a kind of a ceremonial gesture that we do every year, where the different departments that keep financial records present us with their books and show us the way that they keep track of everything. We also do a cash audit with an independent auditor for the court and for Rita Mary and for the tax collector. So, Patty or Carolyn?
Okay.
And then you're excused. Good evening.
This is basically the ledger of how everything is between deposited, either credit cards or money orders, cash. So that's basically goes until 2024. It just keeps going. So I can show you that. And then through each one of these files, of course, Dennis, I do Dennis Big, I'm sorry.
Yes, you are.
I'm sorry, I didn't present that. We did start in April, so I only have April through December of last year. So all of these, it does tell you, if you just want me to show you, how you want me to show you?
Why don't you all just peek in, so.
Well, here, let me bring in May, because some of us can have anything. Okay, so this shows you, this is usually towards the end of each month. It tells you how much each judge will earn, and then how much goes to the town, the county. You see that?
Yeah, I do. I always want the town to keep it all, but it's not to be.
It's not
The state.
The
No,
important part.
you guys are heroes.
No, not the real one yet.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm just interested.
You can,
Why does it only start?
we're here, we're.
That's when Dennis
Oh,
started.
that's right,
And
we
then, of
started.
course, it just explains how much we did each month, so each month is the same thing. Okay, got it. And then this would be like our, just go through here, is our cash book report.
Okay.
So this is how we took it in, when we took it in, and how it's all dispersed, and where it goes, kind of thing. Okay. It tells you the fine, tells you sometimes a civil fee, like a civil fee may be like a suspension lift fee, blah, blah, blah. Wow. So, and these are all people surcharges. So each one of those, each time we do deposit.
Yeah.
we have to do.
Okay.
So I'm gonna keep this all together, so I
I don't know what month this one was.
yeah, just so it doesn't. But you can look, I mean, it doesn't matter all through. I just- I don't know if you want-
Do you guys want to
I'm good.
You're good.
You want me to pick a month?
see if you can pick them up?
Yeah.
So you saw them in your hand. But each month is the same thing. And at the end of each month, both Carol and I.
And that one, that top sheet's the summary one, right?
Yes,
That was
oh,
the
I'm
one-
sorry.
yeah.
Yep, this was a summary of how much the Judge Duhall brought in.
Got it, okay.
But again, he started in April.
Yeah.
And then this just shows you, we have no mail. There's no mail.
Oh, wow.
But we usually do have like a bail account, bail book, everything, but again,
But we haven't-
very slim thing
Yeah,
anymore.
yeah. Ever since the bail, whatever.
So if I read this as, this is just the summary reports.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, well, that, if I did, it's 76 pages.
Yes, got
So
it.
I really don't want to print it out that
That's why I
long.
wanted to just
Okay.
take
But
one
that's
page or
just
something.
that's the end amount.
Got it.
So- Well, I mean, in total, everything
Yeah.
that goes between surcharges, everything.
It's a lot of money.
That's right, I'm on it.
And that's just one page.
Yeah.
That just shows you. we
Yeah,
do-
my bad.
we do pretty good.
You're productive.
Yeah.
They're very busy. Patty doesn't come up for air.
Nice.
A lot of paperwork. How often is court? When's court?
Thank you.
Well, it all depends. Sometimes I have the Duhall sits on right now Mondays and Wednesdays.
In the evenings?
Mondays at 4 and the morning is 9 o'clock.
Okay.
And then Judge Smith sits at 4 o'clock on Wednesday. And then a DA night, that's the third Wednesday.
Wow.
Fourth Wednesday, sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
We're going.
I try to keep myself out of them.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't want you coming.
We don't want to be there.
Okay, Patty, go home.
Thank you.
Carolyn?
Oh, boy.
Geez, Louise.
Well, I have a different receipt books. I use
Time
different
to go
receipt
digital.
books than Patty. It looks
A lot.
like more, but hers is more. I use receipts that I did handwrite.
Okay.
And then when I broke my arm, I started doing them by the computer and just attaching them because I have numbers, as Patty does too. And it's a lot easier. When? In July 9th. Forget it.
It was bad.
Yeah. So I'm still continuing this. But usually this is what it looks like, which is really a lot to do, a lot of
It
writing.
looks like a lot, yeah.
Yeah, so this was when I started.
You want her
And then
some?
this is the end of the year for the fines. And the second page is bail, which is 0.
Right.
And that's just Caroline's.
That's Judge Smith.
Right. Got it.
And then and these are the monthly reports.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you saw them.
I know, but they're so interesting to look at.
Yeah.
I know I should look at them in that much detail.
And we do a cash, and this is a receipt book, a receipt that's done on the computer, and then a cash book that we keep also monthly.
Can people foil these, or is this kind of
I
private?
don't, no, we are
So
not-
we can
we're
see
not
it.
foilable. We don't,
I would-
we don't,
Yeah, I would think
can't
not.
foil us.
So I'm kind of surprised.
That,
It's not public information. People can't come in and say what kind of.
If they contact us and with the Freedom of Information form, we send it back and tell them we're not allowed to.
So it's kind of surprising that we're allowed to see it.
Excuse me?
It's a little surprising that even we're allowed to see it because it's kind of privileged.
Right, yeah, I mean, we could, if they ask for a certificate of disposition on their case.
Right.
Or.
But if I asked for a
agency, right, we can't.
Right.
How long have you been working? Excuse me, how long have you been working? 40 years this year. I started it, 40 years ago. Yep.
She was in little poopy diapers.
George Weber Senior. Fabulous. January 1st, or I started January, beginning of January. 1980.
Jeez.
No, 1984.
Wow.
I'm 82.
I was in ninth grade.
Give me a candle and a bunch of
Watch.
flowers.
You get a watch.
Well, the court clerks association does give certificates for.
Survival. For survival.
So,
What about candy?
I'll take that. So these are by, monthly files, and, they're all the same. And the bank statements are here, everything.
Okay.
Great job.
When do you get audited?
They already have.
Audited, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, we do it at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
And they always
You have to close out your
they
books really fast.
Where do they get stored?
Okay.
Where do they get
Yeah.
stored?
Awesome,
I think
Karen,
in there.
thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
And their office is always locked.
How's hockey going?
They're happy
Don't-
right now. They're happy. I'm glad to be in a
Some of
warm
it
room.
Be
digitized?
careful stepping down.
Yes.
Yep.
Be careful.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
I will.
Okay.
Yeah, don't break anything.
Is any of it digitized?
Oh, no, okay. No,
Is any of it digitized? Like if this building burnt down,
I don't know the answer to that.
are there digital?
Yeah, sure, because they printed those out. Those summaries are all printed out.
There's just like a summary sheet. I don't think all of those receipts, but it has like everything printed out that's in there.
So hopefully it saves some.
Okay, thank you, guys. Rita, now we're going to go back to the regular. Would you make a motion to approve? For those two books, yeah. I make a motion to approve the court books,
Second,
to the best of our knowledge.
second.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we're going to resume our normal programming now.
No, you're not.
Yes, we are.
Oh, you're gonna wait for me?
Yeah, you're going to be here anyway. Okay. All right, so now I'd like to open privilege of the floor. Please, if you have something to say, go up to the podium, state your name and your address, and then Eric's going to be watching the clock for 3 minutes. And then there's a second privilege of the floor at the end of the meeting. Carl, would you like to give us a report?
Sure.
Thank you.
Get out of the way.
All right, you don't need my address, right, Wendy? Or do you want me to say it? 168 Creamery Road, Stanfordville.
She hasn't
I'm sorry,
memorized it
Rita.
yet, Carl.
What's that?
I said she hasn't memorized it yet.
Oh, okay. All right. So, good evening, everyone. As Wendy said, I'm here to give the report for the last couple of months from the Dutchess County Sheriff's Office and New York State Police as to what they've been doing in town and so forth. So, I just wrote a little something. I'll go through it quickly. The DCSO and the New York State Police have been out in force in our town. A number of town residents have told me personally how they have noticed the increased presence of our county and state members of law enforcement. The presence alone, and some people don't understand this, but the presence alone is their mere presence is a crime and a speeding deterrent. I do have the number of tickets written by the New York State Police. I wasn't able to obtain that info from the sheriff's office because the sergeant in charge of that is out. He's been out sick all week. So he promised me that when he gets back, he'll get it to me. And his secretary doesn't have access to that. So she gave me,
Are they on par? Should we think of them as like 50-50?
no,
No,
Okay.
much less.
no, the deputies actually write less tickets, but they do, it's a good mix between the two of them in all honesty. But let me see where I was. Regarding the speed trailers, Wendy, you had asked me about that. The speed trailers that are owned by the sheriff's office will be stored for the rest of the winter, but they'll be back out here in the spring. As soon as the weather rolls around, we can count on good weather without worrying about snow and slush and everything else. We'll bring it back out, and hopefully nobody will tip it over this time. But as far as the town speed trailers, they're available, but I don't know what your plan is with those.
I think Jim's taking the same break because
Yeah.
they don't want to get hit by a snowplow.
Yeah, almost everybody takes them down for the winter, so that it's just good business to do that. I have some information from the last time the DCSO speed trailers Our speed trailer was used on Market Lane, the area of 241. I know that was an area of concern. Actually, Julia and I went over there one day and we were looking around. The speed trailer was there from 12:13 to 12:28, and 2,391 cars went by. So it's really great at gathering information, these machines. Actually, Nathan, you helped me one day too, but that was at the other end. But the posted speed limit is 35, and the average speed going through in that area, you want to take a guess, Jim?
42.
Anthony? I love playing these games, it's fun.
45.
Now, the average speed that went by was 27.4 miles per hour, so almost 8 miles per hour under the posted speed limit. So it's deceiving sometimes on these small, narrow roads, the speed of the vehicle actually going by you.
I might have tipped my hand on how fast I was driving.
I would have gone higher.
Yeah, well, in reality, a lot of people will, and I know I've said this before, when bigger vehicles are going by, they always appear to be going faster. So, and on the narrow roads, it makes it even worse because you're fighting for space on the road, so.
That's average, right?
That's average.
That's right.
And,
So when I go 75.
That's right.
well, that is a good
Bring
point.
up the average.
But almost 90% of the vehicles that went by were under 35 miles per hour. There were a couple higher. We don't have the reasons why. It could have been firemen, emergency services, anybody going to help somebody or whatever, or your typical speeders sometimes.
Of course, yeah.
Before I get to the tickets written and the calls for service, I just wanted to, there are a couple people I'd like to thank. I was away, so, and a couple guys that normally help me couldn't do it, but, you know, Devo did get the state police info for me, so I want to thank Devo Martini for that. And also, all the members of the Sheriff's Office and the state police for the amazing work that they've been doing to help keep our town, Stanfordville, New York, as one of the safest towns in the entire country. We are a very safe town. The New York State Police, from November 1st through January 31st, had total amount of calls out here of 719 calls.
Wait,
Or,
in
excuse me,
Stanford?
719 tickets, I apologize, and a total call volume of 114.
But wait, Carl, are you talking about on the Taconic? You certainly can't be talking about in Taconic.
That's part of Stanford.
Yeah.
So they don't narrow it down to which section of Stanford, they just say the part. Well, the total calls of 114, that's most likely not on the Taconic. Most of the tickets, the 719, I would assume most of them, and I don't know for a fact, but I'm just
No,
guessing that a lot of them were there.
8%.
What's that?
Yep. Yes, probably a big percentage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the total calls for the Sheriff's Office from October 10th until January 31st out here was 778 calls. And like I said, I don't have the tickets that were written. I will work on getting that. So the total call volume out here from basically October 10th till now was 1,611 calls for service. And I can't give you the exact breakdowns, but these are the calls that were handled out here. There were property checks, alarms, accidents, traffic infractions, civil matters, BOLOs are be on the lookout for. SRO activity, or school resource activity, going through their schools and doing drills, the fire drills and so forth. Burning complaints, patrol activity, welfare checks, arrest, community policing, 911 hang-ups, there must have been a fire, there's a fire call, school walkthroughs, follow-ups, animal complaints, road hazards, suspicious activity, hunting complaints, backup of other agencies, larceny, domestics, police assistance, lockouts, and emotionally disturbed person, noise complaints. And as you can see, our county and state law enforcement officers have been very present in our town. I mean,
Sounds like we're not
they spent, and I can say on my way here, yesterday, I think it was yesterday, let's say yesterday, right? I stopped at the firehouse and I saw one of the deputies sitting there and he was running radar. I know that kid is a very proactive deputy. And then on my way here tonight, I saw another deputy down at the rec park, checking the rec park. So we can't just measure the effectiveness of law enforcement based on how many tickets they've written. They're definitely out here a lot. And if you ask anybody here, I'm sure they'll tell you that they're seeing these guys all over the place now. And we just hope to keep that up, and I'll keep calling and keep the guys coming out. And, does anybody have any questions on anything?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So this has nothing to do with the Pine Plains people that we.
No, this is not.
This is just what we do regularly.
This is just regular, Pine Plains Police cannot patrol in our town. So it's just, these are the agencies that we already pay through our taxes to have them here. So we don't, you know, I mean, to have them out here nearly 2,000 times, and not counting all the times they're driving through anyway, or sitting at Pecos having lunch, yeah, stuff like that. So I think the guys are doing a good job, and I certainly appreciate them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Carl.
Anybody else?
Jim Griffin, 71 Charwell Drive. In addition to being a happy member of the Stanford Community Pine Plains School Board, and yesterday we spent our day in Albany for lobbying day. Met with Senator Hinchy and Assemblymember Barrett, who were both sympathetic to the cause here. But in the governor's last budget refresh, the Pine Plains School stands to lose about $2.5 million in funding due to redoing the foundation aid. And the state's had an issue over the last few years. It's a 30-year case in court where they're playing games with foundation aid, and they've ripped off New York City, and then now it seems they're transferring it back. Last year was the third year in a repayment scheme that finished up. So in the governor's budget is a cut to foundation aid, a change of how the state indexes inflation, and an elimination of what they call the hold harmless law. And the hold harmless law is basically no legislation should significantly impact a school district, a town, city, etc. This isn't the case here. $2 million would be impossible in a tax cap environment to overcome. Assemblymember Barrett and Senator Hinchy seem to be on our side here. They don't know what the governor's office was thinking. They don't think it has a chance of passing. But they did say public outreach should help. So write the governor's office, let them know rural schools matter, that our children are just as important as the kids in Newburgh or Poughkeepsie or New York City, and that declining enrollment doesn't mean that, you know, when enrollment declines, your costs go up per student. So, you know, what are we not going to have? Science? Do we want to get rid of math? What do we cut? $2 million is not achievable.
Jim, this was in the first iteration of the budget, but the amended budget,
It's still in her budget as presented.
so the second iteration,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, they didn't revive this. So we were there yesterday. We met with our assembly members. There were other school districts from Dutchess County. They all took up our cause. Wappinger makes out really well in this budget, and they let us speak and say how we were impacted.
And can you provide us with some language, and then I can put it in the newsletter, but also we'll just have a better sense of what it is that we should write.
Yeah, absolutely.
And there's still, I mean, there are the one-house budgets that hopefully both Dee Dee.
Neither of the working one-house budgets currently contain this. They're in the majority, and speaking with Dee Dee and speaking with Michelle Hinchy, they gave us a lot of time. They were very appreciative of our cause here. But in neither of their one-house budgets does this exist. They don't think it should go through.
Right.
You know, it's Albany's 3 people in a room. But, you know, there's last-minute dealing.
What's the total dollar amount for the budget?
It's about $36 million.
Okay.
This is about a 37% hit to our budget. In the way that it, in our foundation aid for our budget. And in a 2% tax cap, we're looking at an increase in the hundreds of thousands as our maximum.
What does foundation aid do?
Foundation aid is the aid that the state gives every school district.
Okay.
And it's usually based on need. And because we have so much open land around here, most of it undevelopable, they see this as a school district of wealth. Our kids, our schools are eligible for free and reduced lunch for everybody because we hit a threshold in this community for need. And we don't have that wealth in our schools. We give a very good program. There's a lot of work going on there. But we can't survive that.
We can also ask the Association of Towns, in fact, the big conference is, I think, a week from next week, 2 weeks from now. But they're involved with the budget work as well.
Right.
So we can ask them to.
Okay, I just wanted to bring this to
No,
everybody.
it's great that you did, and if you provide language, we'll get it out.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Sure.
No,
No.
Could I just ask a question?
just ask your question.
So who else needs to hear this besides the governor? Do we need to send it to?
I mean,
they know.
they basically
Does
said
help to
it
send
doesn't hurt to have the mass of response behind it.
Okay.
You know, whatever you think about taxes, this is a redistribution of resources that our state's been providing to our community. And our kids are just as important as everybody else's
Yeah,
kids.
I think the question is really just like, what's going to help? Is it just?
Yeah, no, I think it's right to the governor, right to Hinchy, right to Assemblymember Barrett's office.
All right.
You know, it doesn't hurt.
Okay.
Cool,
Great.
thank you.
Would a petition help at all, or they just want letters?
I think letters probably, because a petition, I mean, it's got no legal backing, it doesn't get them anywhere, but individual letters seem to matter more because those are votes. They see those as votes. Petitions, people on a page, you don't know, that could have been somebody at Kroger's well, we don't have Kroger's, Stop and Shop, or Stewart's.
Yep.
So, petitions are thin. Letters with return addresses, they're very important.
Would it be a formatted letter that could be shared with everybody?
Yeah, I'll put
Yeah,
that in the
I think
newsletter.
Wendy's on the right path. We'll put out what the actual call out of the bill is and what it addresses, and then that should help form the letter.
Right, Stacy might send it out to our
Yeah.
folks and, make it work.
We could actually, Nathan just said we could get a document up on the town website, which would literally be downloadable, and then you can just fill in your information.
That's terrific. Thank you very much. Thank
Change
you.
a few words around, so.
Right.
Please.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, then I'm going to close the first privilege of the floor and make a motion to move on to new business. Do I have to do that?
No, you don't need a motion.
Okay, then I won't.
Move on.
All right, we have 4 quick resolutions. This is to establish, you all may remember that we've established an ambulance district. So what this resolution does is establishes an account in our New York class, a sub-account in New York class, which is the place we're allowed to invest, municipalities are allowed to invest their funds in, that give a higher interest rate than Millbrook Bank. So, Eric, why don't you read this?
Sure. Is it 2A?
2A.
Yeah, I have it. Resolution 2A of 2024 to establish an account in New York class for Stanford Ambulance District. Whereas the Town Board of the Town of Stanford established an ambulance district by resolution in 2023 to service the entirety of the Town of Stanford, and whereas the Town Board of the Town of Stanford approved a contract with Northern Dutchess Paramedic EMS to provide this service, and whereas the contract calls for monthly payments of $62,500, now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Stanford authorizes the Town of Stanford to open an account through New York Class to hold the tax monies collected for the year 2024, and be it further resolved that the Town of Stanford, that the Town Supervisor of the Town of Stanford is authorized to transfer these tax funds from the general fund ending in 018 to a newly established New York Class account ending in 13. Do I need to do this lower part?
No, that's okay.
That's okay?
It's basically just that's fine.
The 2 account names.
Okay,
But
that's
you can
right.
read the last, be it further resolved.
Okay, got it. And be it further resolved that upon receipt of full payment from the Town of Stanford tax collector of the $850,000 levy the town supervisor is authorized to transfer the remaining funds from the general fund ending in 018 to the New York class account ending in 13.
And monthly, the town supervisor is authorized to transfer back to the general fund 625.
Is that Eric's motion?
Yes.
Yes.
Second. Second.
Wendy Burton?
Yes.
Julia Dakota?
Yes.
Eric Ames?
Yes.
Nathan LaVertue?
Yes.
Teddy C.
Yeah, we're missing the last sentence.
Thank you.
I just want you, I want to say that I was at a dinner for the mayors and supervisors of Dutchess County, and there's definitely a contingent of us that are going to go to the county legislature and make noise about the county finally doing something to help us with the EMS costs, because some of the bigger municipalities, they're fine, but rural communities like ours, it's unbelievable that we're paying $850,000 for ambulance service, and it's not anybody's fault. Our incredible fire company just couldn't handle the ambulance services anymore. We don't have enough EMS workers, EMTs. So the governor made noise about it in her budget, but didn't seem to attach any funds to it. And the county's been saying for years they're stepping up to the plate. So I wouldn't say that we're going to do a sit-in, but I would say that we're going to, I think, start getting more vocal, because it's really unbelievable that we're bearing such a cost. And even the fire district, the commissioners really don't want us to share services with another town. Some towns do, but that means the ambulance isn't parked right in our backyard, and they're feeling, all of them unanimously, when they were advising us, said the 9 miles can be a life or death. You know, if we were, for instance, sharing with Pine Plains, and the ambulance was down there, we could lose a life. So we just need a better solution, and we're working on it. As a combined force, the Northern Dutchess supervisors and mayors are working on it, so. Resolution 2B, Julia, why don't you read this one?
Okay, I have it.
Okay. I'm the only one with my little papers.
Resolution 2B, to establish capital project H38 Spark Park Playground Replacement. Whereas the town board passed resolution number 12B of 2023 authorizing the purchase of playground equipment for Spark Park, and whereas the town needs to establish capital project H38 Spark Park Replacement, and whereas the town board needs to establish the budget for capital project 38, now therefore be it resolved, the town board authorizes the creation of capital project H38 Spark Park Playground Replacement, and be it further resolved, the town board approves the following budget for capital project H38. Estimated revenues, $466,267.
Like, do the account number and all that?
No, nobody cares.
Okay. Gifts and donations, $191,847.70. New York State OPRHP grant, say that 5 times fast, $274,420. Appropriations, $466,267.70. Spark Park Playground Replacement, $466,267.70.
Your motion?
Yes.
I'll second.
Wendy Burton?
Yes.
Julia Dakota?
Yes.
Eric Ames?
Yes.
Nathan LaVertue?
Yes.
Teddy Secord absent.
And Julia, how much have we raised just in pickets for the?
$28,900.
That's incredible.
Round of applause. It's not the most ever done, though, so.
Oh, well, we'll keep going then.
Trying.
We're not competitive. Resolution 2C, to transfer funds from the American Rescue Fund account and move funds to the general fund account. I'll do this one, and you can do the last one.
Okay.
Okay. Whereas the town of Stanford will be investing American Rescue Plan funds to purchase new LED lighting for our structures, which will be much more energy efficient, and whereas the New York class account ending in 09, American Rescue Fund account, contains funds for this purpose, and whereas the town of Stanford will transfer funds from New York class 09 to the Millbrook General Fund account 18. Now therefore be it resolved, the supervisor is authorized to complete the following budget modifications and transfer the funds from the American Rescue Plan funds account to the general fund. And that amount in its entirety was $77,403.
Your motion?
Yes?
I'll second.
Wendy Burton?
Yes?
Julie Dakota?
Yes.
Eric Hames?
Yes.
Nathan Virtue?
Yes.
Katie Seaver absent.
And that project is finished. And then the last resolution has to do with changing the direction of Knoller Way. Nathan, you can read this and it'll explain everything.
It might.
Or it might not.
Use hand signals too.
So-
He is
so-
going to still plow.
They are?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, just to further explain it, so it is it's a redirection and closure, correct?
Yeah, the part
Yeah.
that's going
So-
through the rec park is getting closed.
Right, that's the best way to explain it. So that section through the park is considered Knoller Way. But what they're going to do is they're going to close that roadway. It will still be paved, it will still be plowed for access, but the Knoller Way itself will no longer be that. It will be the dirt area by the parking lot by the chain link fence and the subsequent turnaround that comes back onto Route 82. So Knoller Way will actually now be a square-shaped C, if you will, basically going around Big Rock.
It'll go down where Knoller Way is, and then instead of continuing through the rec park, it's
Takes a
gonna
left.
bang a left.
Yep.
Where cars parked, and then it's gonna bang another left.
Yep, back
To
to
get
82.
back out to 82, and it's gonna be one way.
And the
Yes.
lot bollard stays?
Yep,
Okay.
yeah.
And it will have a great big sign that says no entry, but where it will be plowed for emergency vehicles, and they'll be able to get through. And this is so,
This is
Go
a
for it.
resolution for that, so this is the motion for this resolution, so. Resolution 2D, to change the direction of the town of Stanford Road named Knoller Way, to more easily address the town recreation park on Creamy Road. Whereas Dutchess County has implemented the E911 emergency response and call monitoring for the entire county, and whereas the county of Dutchess has reviewed the road names and addresses in the town of Stanford to ensure correct recognition and identification of parcels on roads located in the town of Stanford, and whereas the county of Dutchess has requested the town of Stanford name any and all private and public roads in the town of Stanford for compliance with E911 to enable E911 response system to identify parcels. And whereas the town of Stanford Road, Knoller Way, off New York State Route 82, was the original address of the town's recreation park, but to more easily identify this property, which is actually off Creamery Road, the town board has recommended the following change of direction for Knoller Way. That Knoller Way be a one-way road off New York State Route 82 between the Stanford Grange property and the Stanford Free Library property, where the gates are closed, then go left at the recreation gate, through the current upper parking lot near the town's ball fields, then again left onto a dirt driveway back onto New York State Route 82. Now therefore be it resolved by the town of Stanford that Knoller Way be approved to have this directional change so that the recreation park will have a more easily identifiable number on Creamery Road.
and this was actually, came about through the request not only of Dutchess County, but the Rec Commission and the Highway Department. We're just their servants.
That's my motion.
Your motion? Second?
Second.
Wendy Burton?
Yes?
Julie Dakota?
Yes.
Eric Hames?
Yes.
Nathan Virtue?
Yes.
Teddy Seaver absent. Thank you.
I make a motion to accept the resignation of Teddy Secor as the CAC Secretary and a Rec Commission member.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So we need to find us, we are advertising for a CAC Secretary. We need to advertise for a Rec Commission member.
Second. Just kidding, I'm just kidding. Just
All in
kidding.
favor?
Yes, aye.
We have discovered that our pond needs some major electrical work. We have to install
The pumps that service the pond,
Thank you.
not the pond.
No, well,
There was a look.
pond-related pumps.
Yeah.
Swimming pond.
The swimming pond
Forty
pumps.
times.
Yes.
And it's a major kerfuffle. It hasn't been done correctly, apparently, for a long time, so the bid that went out covers everything from soup to nuts, and it went out to 3 contractors. One of them said they didn't even want to bid on it, and then another one didn't give their bid. So we received one bid, and it's from Lane Electric, who actually did our LED lights, among other things, and that bid is for $31,465.39. If anybody wants to see the scope of work, they're welcome to it. I'm not going to read it. So, we also want to get this done before the rec opens. So I would like to make a motion to approve, to accept Lane Electric's bid.
Second.
It's disappointing we don't have more. It's hard to judge, when you only have one bid. Unfortunately, that was the only bid.
Yeah, there's nothing, we had it out, we advertised it the way we do.
Right.
This is what came in. So,
All in favor?
aye.
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 Okay, I make a motion to approve the minutes of January 18th, 2024.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you.
I make a motion to approve February Abstract 2A for 2024. The general fund was $155,672.30, but out of that money, $125,000 is for the ambulance district. So we wire the money back into the general fund in order to pay, but at least that's not coming out of the general fund. Highway fund was $44,823.25. The escrow account was $840, and that's the planning board escrow. Can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you.
All in favor?
I didn't know if you were going to do all 3.
Aye.
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 Then the approval of the February Abstract 2B, which goes back to bills, invoices for work done in 2023, and I believe this is the last month that we'll be paying 2023 invoices. General fund was $41,988.56. Highway, $39,513.98. Bangor Lights was $880.87.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Then we have a third abstract for this month, unheard of. But this is for, this is Abstract 2C for 2024. This is money that we just, is Spark Bark Capital Improvement Fund. So this is money that we got in from the campaign committee. And it was $150,619.50 that we will be sending to Play by Design as a down payment on materials for the rebuild.
It's happening.
It's happening.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So with that, I think that concludes our business.
Do you want to do the approval of the books?
Yes, Rita, we can't wait to do the approval of the books.
Isn't there a second privilege of the floor, right?
Yes, we will. But first, we'll approve
Yeah, I
Rita's books.
know.
Yeah.
Okay, well, first you're going to do the building inspector, and I was given this. This is his report.
Oh, Rita, you shouldn't have. I said, oh, Rita, you shouldn't have.
For everything I own.
So this is interesting. For 2023, the building department brought in $110,748.40.
And this is the one that Katrina gives us a monthly report for. right?
Katrina
Yeah,
gives us
so-
a monthly
Yeah, so this
report.
is just this is just the complete full. Okay.
Right.
So
Right.
you will see these regularly in your mailbox.
Yeah, I got it. I
Yeah,
just got it.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay.
Me?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I also give you a monthly report,
I
but
got
this
it.
is a
Yep.
year-end report, 23.
And all those-
You?
Oh, we
Thank
each
you.
get one?
You do.
And Rita's office
Thank
brought
you.
in last year, Jesus, what is all this stuff? Total
All the stuff I do.
I know, but we,
$30,000 and $30,200 basically, right?
No,
no,
no.
Where am I
I
looking?
brought in a
Yeah, what are
total
you looking at?
of $17,875.50 in '23. In '24, yes, in '23. In '22, I brought in almost 2,000 more,
Uh-huh.
but unfortunately, I had more deaths that year, so I had fewer this past year. I had one fewer marriage. I was down in hunting. I think a lot of people are either not finding deer or they're getting too old to hunt.
Interesting.
Down in dogs. But the last year, I was up in town clerk fees, and most of it was copies.
oh, that's interesting. Oh, I know.
Foils.
We got so many foils, right? I don't think we make money on that, though, because we have to buy the
Yeah,
paper.
that's true.
Genealogy search?
Yep,
And
yep.
I didn't know you
and
did
the dog
that.
fees might go up next year. 'Cause
Pardon?
the dog fees could go up next year.
They went up this year.
Well, no, I mean,
No.
the fees went up, but.
What
when
you
we get
collect.
this-
Next year, well, already I've noticed a difference in my
Oh,
January report.
yeah.
Yep. So, what I do is for every single month, this is an example of my month of December, and then I have to duplicate it in my cash book. So this is from January of '23 to December of '23, if you guys want to just really quick.
And these are New York State requirements.
Yep.
And so they come in and they're like, is your column off? Like, what are they, what kind of feedback do they give you?
Well, the auditor says everything's fine. so-
Okay.
Yeah,
And
we
everything
had
I
a
bring-
cash audit for her.
Everything I bring in, I send out. So if I bring in $1,000, which I usually don't, a month,
Yeah.
everything is gone by the first of the next month.
Yes.
I give it to the town, I give it to Ag and Markets for Dogs, I give it to Health Department for State, and for decals, they take it out of my account.
Okay.
I
Okay.
have all my bank statements here, my receipt books, my deposit slips. Oh, and I maintain two checking accounts. All my money every month goes into my regular town clerk account. At the last day of the month, I transfer my decals, my hunting license money, into the decals fund in the bank. That's just because decals does an electronic sweep, and if they take more money, they're only going to get what I say there's in there. You know, so it's a safe thing for me, and it's always worked out. That's it.
Great, Rita.
Great.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you.
Yes.
You gotta be
Great
teaching a
job.
class up in Albany, man.
No, thank you. Those are you, right? Yep, those are yours.
And I make a motion to, what do we do, to accept,
Did you take one?
Yeah, to the
I
best.
don't
To the best of our knowledge.
to the best of our knowledge, the books of both the building inspector and the town clerk.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oh,
Aye. That's the DI one.
okay, so now we will open the second privilege of the floor. Oh, these guys. Okay, then I guess we will close the second privilege of the floor. We do not have any reasons for an executive session, do we?
I never
know.
I don't have any reasons.
I was not told.
We have no reason. So, Julia, would you like to make a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
You missed it, you were talking.
Yeah, blah, blah,
Do you
blah.
want to?
Did you have something you wanted to say?
I just wanted to say good night.
Good night, Carl.
Good night, Carl. Thank you all for coming.
Quick and easy. Good reading, less than an hour.